Welcome to another Faith Note for today. The book of Job describes the visit by three friends after everything has been taken from Job: his flocks, his herds, his children, and his health. Scripture says, when three of Job's friends heard of the tragedy Job had suffered, they got together and traveled from their homes to comfort and console him. They sat on the ground with Job for 7 days and 7 nights. No one said a word to Job, for they saw his suffering was too great for words. My father died 15 years ago on July 1st. He had a massive heart attack that left his heart damaged and weak. He had a second heart attack in the hospital 18 days later, from which he did not survive. My family didn't grow up far from here in East Central Indiana. My parents and siblings moved to Georgia in stages over 35 years ago. They were in search of better employment. Making the transition from a small rural community to a large metropolitan area was a challenge. I grew up in a community where you knew everyone on your block. My family lived in a world where neighbors seldom socialized other than a wave as they passed by once they moved to Atlanta. Fortunately, my parents quickly became connected with a community of friends through the church. I feel there would have been quite a number of people who would have attended my father's visitation and funeral had it been held in Indiana. Being held in Georgia was a different story. Beyond the few family members that were able to travel the distance, the people who attended the funeral were the church friends of my parents. Everyone at the funeral offered words of sympathy. A few shared stories. I don't remember what any of them said. What I do remember is that their presence meant a lot to me and a lot to my family. One of the visitors who came to both the visitation as well as the funeral was one of my former seminary professors. He was not one of my favorite professors, but the fact that he stopped by the funeral home elevated his status in my mind. He expressed a genuine spirit of sympathy at a time when I was vulnerable. You know, if you've lost a loved one, you know that there are no words to take away the hurt or that can ease the pain. What mattered and what impressed me were the ones who took time out of their busy schedule surrounding July 4th to stop by the funeral home. Their visits touched the hearts of my family. I was reminded in that experience that many times it's not what you say, but what you do that makes all the difference. People don't expect you to solve their problems or even to fix their world. Sometimes the only thing you can do is to be there. And in our presence, they realize that they're not alone. Simple acts of kindness speaks volumes. Words are nice, but sometimes just being there is enough. Thank you for watching this Faith Note for today. Hear this word of regarding your holy status that's found in 1 Peter. The writer says, you are a chosen people. You are royal priests, a holy nation, God's very own possession. As a result, you can show others the goodness of God, for he called you out of the darkness into his wonderful light. Amen.